If you were to ask me what my go-to quick, easy, and delicious dinner recipe would be, it would hands down be this shakshuka. I use lots of spices, fresh herbs, and the addition of roasted red peppers and chipotle chilies to make a quick but flavorful sauce. Poach some eggs in the sauce and top with plenty of fresh cilantro and feta, and it's an impressive meal that's ready in about 20 minutes flat. And if you're new here, I'm Maggie. This is No Frills Kitchen, where I teach you how to cook with confidence with nothing fancy required.
All right, the first thing we're going to do is prep our ingredients, which is pretty minimal. First, all you need to do is thinly slice some shallot, and then also thinly slice a few cloves of garlic. I'm also going to roughly chop a few jarred roasted red peppers. These add such a nice smoky flavor to the shakshuka. This is also a good time to chop up some canned chipotle chili in adobo, but I have a jar of already chopped chipotle, so I can skip that step. One last thing before I move to the stovetop is to crush the tomatoes. I always recommend using whole peeled tomatoes rather than canned crushed tomatoes because they are the superior product in many different ways. Simply pour the tomatoes into a bowl and crush them lightly with your hands and then set aside. So, moving to the stovetop, in a large skillet, I like to use stainless steel as it's non-reactive when compared to cast iron or carbon steel. Add some olive oil, your sliced garlic, some chili flakes, and some anchovy fillets. Set it over medium heat and let it slowly come to a sizzle. I like to add anchovies as it adds a depth of flavor and a certain savoriness, similarly to how I add anchovies to something like my Greek shrimp recipe. However, if you want to make this dish completely vegetarian, you can absolutely just leave it out. Allow the garlic to cook for a few minutes, just until it starts getting tender and the anchovy is dissolving. Once you get here, add your shallots and a bit of salt. Cook the shallots for a few more minutes, just until everything is softened and very fragrant. Then to the shallots and garlic, add in a bit of tomato paste. Now add in some cumin, smoked paprika, and a bit of cinnamon. It's always a good idea to add spices before adding any liquid, as cooking them in oil, only for about 30 seconds like we're doing here, really allows the flavors of the spices to bloom. Then add in your canned tomatoes, your red peppers, and your chipotle chili. If you think it needs it, this is also a great time to add a splash of water. I like to rinse out the tomato can and use that water to add extra flavor. Stir this to combine and bring everything up to a gentle simmer. This is also a great time to taste to adjust for seasoning. Now, reduce the heat to medium-low or turn the stove off entirely and make a divot in the sauce to add in an egg. Spoon the sauce back over the egg white and repeat with all of your remaining eggs. Cover the pan and cook the shakshuka until the egg whites are set and firm, but the yolks still feel soft when prodded. This will take about 5 to 8 minutes, depending. Cook the eggs for a bit longer if you prefer your yolks more set than runny. Finally, take the pan off the heat and top the shakshuka with a bit of crumbled feta and a good amount of chopped fresh cilantro. Then serve your shakshuka immediately in the pan. Make sure to have plenty of crusty bread or pitas to soak up the sauce, and maybe even a side of hummus. If you liked this recipe, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss my next videos. Enjoy!